Hello my dear students, I hope you all are doing well. So today I am going to start the next topic, that is scarcity definition of economics. So in the previous video we have discussed about welfare definition given by Alfred Marshall. So today we are going to discuss about the scarcity definition. Now we have to understand who has given the definition of scarcity. So while doing the criticisms of welfare definition, we have seen that in the previous video that Professor Robbins, Lionel Robbins has criticized the ideas, views or the narrow concept given by the welfare definition of Alfred Marshall, and he came to the conclusion that no, whatever the definition you have given, that is not correct, and he has defined economics in his own way. So that definition is called scarcity definition given by Lionel Robbins. Now, what is the definition? You have to understand that scarcity definition. So, according to Lionel Robbins, economics is a science which studies about human behavior in relationship with means, or we can ends and scarce resources. So, I'll write here economics Okay, once again, now see, economics is a science which studies the human behavior in relationship with ends. So ends means wants. That ends here, ends means wants. Okay, human wants. And next one we have means. So here means resources, scarce resources. Scarce resources, and the resources have alternative uses. So once again, economics is a science which studies the human behavior in relationship with ends or wants. Okay, and scarce means relationship between human wants, okay, and scarce resources. At the same time, the resources have alternative uses. So what we can say that economics is a science. It provides a systematic knowledge, okay, knowledge regard to human effort, okay, regard to human effort in solving economic problem arising out of scarce resources, and the resources have alternative uses. So how we are going to solve our economic problem in spite of being limited resources, and at the same time the resources have alternative uses? So that we have to study in this definition. So according to Professor Robbins, he says that economics is nothing, it is study about science or social science which shows the relationship between human behavior and the scarce resources, and how we are going to use that scarce resources to satisfy our needs. At the same time, the resources have alternative uses. Okay, next we are going to discuss about the characteristics of human effort or human life. So Professor Robbins emphasizes 4 characteristics of human behavior or human life. Number 1, we have unlimited wants. Okay, first one we have unlimited wants. Next we have limited resources, alternative uses of resources, and choice. So I will discuss one by one. First we have unlimited wants. So according to Robbins, what it says that human wants are unlimited, okay, unlimited, and our wants multiply over time. It is not only large in number, but it keeps multiplying over period of time. At the same time, our wants are recurring in nature. Recurring in nature in a sense that, suppose say in the morning I am having breakfast, after 4-5 hours, maybe during in the afternoon we have to go for a lunch. So after lunch again in the evening, or maybe at around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., we have to take our dinner. So we cannot satisfy our hunger just by consuming food once in a day. So we need 3 times: morning breakfast, lunch, a dinner. Similarly, our other wants are also there that cannot be satisfied. Okay, all the wants cannot be satisfied. Suppose say today I want to have one bike. So if I purchase bike, if I am able to fulfilling that needs, next time my demand will be for cars. If I purchase that car, next time maybe the demand may arise for some other advanced or a more modernized car. So human wants cannot be, all wants cannot be satisfied. We can say that human wants are unlimited and all are not possible to satisfy at a time. Okay, so some are able to satisfy, some cannot be satisfied. So in that case, how we will take the economic decision, how we will decide which wants we should fulfill first, which wants should be fulfilled later on. So it depends on our urgent need, it depends on our emergency. Okay, suppose say some wants are there that are very urgent to us, and some wants are there that are less urgent. Now I'll take two items. Suppose say food and car. Now if you compare these two items, which is our basic necessity? This food. So what will be our first priority? Our first priority will be to purchase this food or fulfill these wants. Then after that we can go for this car. So depending on the priorities, depending on the urgent need, the people should be able to satisfy their wants or needs. Whichever is the urgent need, we will try to satisfy first, then after that we can go for this car. Okay, so here once again I will repeat this. What is unlimited wants? Human wants are unlimited. We cannot satisfy all the wants at a same time. Why? Because the wants keeps multiplying over period of time. At the same time, our wants are recurring in nature, means wants are repeated in a certain period of time. So we cannot fulfill all the wants at the same time. So what will do that? It depends on our priorities. If any wants that is very urgent to us, we will give more priority to that wants, and the secondary wants we will try to fulfill in the future. Now the second characteristics we have, scarce means or limited resources. So whatever the resources we have in our society, whatever the resources we have in our economy, whatever the resources we have in our country or throughout the world, the resources are scarce. Okay, it can be any resources. It may be forest resources, it may be labor, land, capital, and so on. So according to our needs, according to our demand, the supply of resources is very limited, and some of the resources are there that can be increased over time, but a few resources are there that is not possible to increase over time. So according to our needs or according to our wants or according to our demand, whatever the resources we have in our economy that are very limited. So with that limited resources, we have to try to fulfill our wants. So that is explained in the scarce means or limited resources. I'll give one more example. Whatever the total population we have, the number of laborers, okay, the number of labor may be more, but according to our demand, okay, according to our demand, that number of laborers may be less, the supply of laborers may be less. Now, the third characteristics we have alternative uses of resources. So, according to Professor Robbins, what he says that the resources are not only scarce in our nature, not only limited in supply, but whatever the resources we have, that resources have alternative uses. Alternative uses means same resources can be used for various purposes. I'll give you a few examples. Suppose say we are talking about land. Okay, land is also one of the resources. Now this land can be used for various purposes. Number one, it can be used for cultivation of crops, or the same land can be used for construction of buildings. Similarly, the labor can be also either used in the field, means in the agricultural sector, or the same labor can be also used in the manufacturing or industrial sector. Similarly, water can be used for various purposes. We can use that water for cleaning also, washing also, drinking also. So same water can be used for various purposes. Similarly, electricity. Okay, electricity can be used for various purposes. We can use that electricity for lighting also, for cleaning also, for washing also. So here the resources have what uses? Alternative uses, means the same resources can be used for various purposes. So this is the another explanation of human behavior given by Professor Robbins. Now, the next characteristics we have choice. So, according to Professor Robbins, what is explained that the human wants are unlimited, the resources are limited. At the same time, the resources have alternative uses. So here, the people have to make choice. Okay, the people have to make choice in allocating these resources for the production of various types of goods and commodity. So, what I mean to say that when the people are uh, going for any choice, he has to decide which is very important. Okay, which is very important for him. Suppose let's take the example of students. Okay, students, suppose say pocket money given to him is suppose say rupees 500. Now here this 500 is given to the students, and how the students is going to allocate this 500 rupees, whether he is going to spend this 500 for purchasing book, or whether he is going to spend that 500 for watching movies, or whether he is going to spend this 500 for dinner or lunch. So it is up to the students, he has to make choice. Similarly, each and every individual has to make choice, because the resources are limited. Whatever the resources they have, whatever the resources we have to make choice, because if the resources would have been in a plenty, then the problem of choice would not have arise. Why this problem of choice is arising? Because the resources are limited in supply, and if the resource is limited in a supply, it is obvious that human beings have to make choice between their alternative uses, like for what purpose they are going to spend, which is their primary needs, which is their primary importance. According to their relative importance, they have to use that resources, either in the production, consumption, wherever may be.